this is the new print shop. This is what we've been working on for the past 2 months. Still a long way to go. We've got new equipment coming, still setting up old equipment, but we are functional and we are printing. So let's take a look at some of the printing options that are available today. So currently we're working with DTF, vinyl, DTG, sublimation and embroidery. We're still yet to get started with screen printing, and we've got a few other pieces of equipment that are arriving in the next month or so. So we'll touch base with them when they do arrive. But yeah, let's take a look at what we got. The real star of the show is Big Daniel back here. Our screen printer is 8 colour, 6 beds. Honestly, we've not got up and running with this, and I'm dying to start doing some screen printing. There's a few things getting in my way, such as 3-phase for the conveyor dryer, a few other bits, but honestly, I've had this screen printer way too long to not be printing with it. But I will definitely make sure to vlog all of it, because the journey is going to be an arduous one that I've been putting off for a long time. But excited, and it's kind of the final step for us when it comes to printing. I'm sure there's going to be loads of other gadgets and bits and bobs that I acquire through this printing journey, but yeah, here she is. The printing press I've got is a Riley Hopkins 350. It's got 6 bed, 8 colours. I went big out the gate because in the future, I didn't want to come across a job that I couldn't take on. A lot of people start off with a 1 bed, 1 colour, but I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to sell anything, buy new stuff later on down the line. So I went for the biggest one that I could afford at the time, and I'm happy I did. It's a Riley Hopkins, so I know it's made by a screen printer. And there's also a lot of other influencers and vloggers who use Riley Hopkins and they swear by it. So I'm happy with my decision here. The new unit we're in now is this thing's 3rd and final home. It has lived in Afflex, my old unit. And when I say this thing was a nightmare to move, it was the most stressful, painful task, because this thing doesn't fit through any doors. So all these panels, all the arms had to all be taken off. We couldn't fit it in the lift, so we had to take it apart bit by bit whilst there's customers there, wheel it in. It was just painful, and it weighs a fucking ton as well. So I rented like a tailgate lift. I was worried that it was going to break the lift, and one of us was definitely going to die, and that would have been me, because I was at the bottom trying to load this thing into the back of the lift, into the back of the van. But we got it in there and got it here, and I'm glad I did, because it cost me 700 quid to hire an engineer to move it, which I've done once before. I said I wouldn't do it again. But yeah, very stressful, very long to do. But we got it here finally, and hopefully we won't have to move it again. This is the exposure unit. This is where we'll put the screens in when they are ready to be exposed. After they've been coated, they'll go in here and they'll get burned. Essentially what that does is, using a photosensitive emulsion, the design using UV light is burned into the screen, so that when we pass ink over the screen, the ink only goes through the parts of the design that are essentially empty on the frame, and that allows us to apply that ink directly onto the garment. Not used this yet, but I have seen it in action, and it's Ryonet again, so a similar brand to the screen printer that I got. Excited to get started with this, and it's massive as well, so there shouldn't be any size job in the future that we have to turn away. We should be able to handle it all. With the amount of colours that we've got on the screen printer and the size of the exposure unit, we shouldn't, touch wood, come into any issues in the future, but I'm sure we will do. But for now, everything's looking good here. Screen drying cabinet, pretty self-explanatory. Don't really need to waffle on about this. Okay, next we've got the Toyota ESP9100. This thing is an absolute powerhouse with 15 needles, meaning we can get 15 different thread colours in one design. Honestly, this thing was a bit of a nightmare to get started with, but once we got the basics down, it's quite simple. As long as you stay on top of maintenance, making sure the tension of the thread is correct, not too tight, not too loose, which was a big issue we faced at the start, not knowing why the jobs weren't coming out correctly. And so we got this thing. This helps us keep the tension perfect, because too tight is going to affect the print, and too loose is also going to affect it as well. The needle, like making sure the needles are correct for the right material, and just making sure that all the gauges are just perfectly aligned. This is our vinyl cutter. We only do sign vinyl with it now, but back in the day we did do a lot of t-shirt prints with it. So vinyl has definitely got a special place in my heart because this is essentially what I built the business on. You can only really do single color prints and not too detailed, so we only use it for wall decals, floor decals, that kind of thing, which it's still very useful for. But t-shirt printing wise, we've moved on to other printing methods such as DTF, DCG, things that are a little bit more tailored to garment printing. When it comes to t-shirt printing, people don't want that thick, plasticky feeling t-shirt. DCG printing is what gives that grainy, inky feel onto a tee. This is one of 2 DCG printers we have. Currently I'm waiting on a replacement print head coming from China, so touch wood that all goes through because I don't fancy paying 1,500 quid, which is what it will cost me if I get it here. So I'll definitely do a video on installing the new print head. I've taken the print heads out before, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, and I know people who have swapped this print head out for this Chinese one, so we should be all good. But yeah, when we're back up and running, we'll do a full video on DCG alone. This has been a staple in our printing business for years now. It's what we do most of the shopped t-shirt prints with is DTG, and it's overall a cracking piece of machinery, especially if you want that retail standard of t-shirt. DTG is where you want to go. It's messy, it's expensive, but the payoff is worth it if you can get over the learning curve of ink system and keeping the pipes flush, keeping everything clean and ticking over. This is our pre-treater. Nothing too exciting goes on here. All this does is put a solution onto the t-shirts that then allows the DTG printers to apply the ink onto the garment. Not very exciting, but it's essential, and yeah, it's reliable. When it comes to any items that aren't t-shirts, like mugs, coasters, water bottles, we use a method called sublimation. We're using the Sawgrass SG1000. No complaints, really good piece of equipment. We don't do as much sublimation as I'd like to. I'd like to maybe start pushing that a little bit more with the business. But overall, it's great for any items that don't go under a traditional heat press. Promotional gifts, key rings, mugs, that kind of thing. The quality is really high. You get like that photorealism print. We don't use this for t-shirts because the printing method requires a polyester base, and 100% polyester t-shirt isn't to many people's liking. That's why we keep it for the photo gifts, the mugs, the key rings, because it does that exceptionally well. And if you don't mind a polyester t-shirt, you can get really high resolution images, really strong colors on it as well. It's just, you have to then put it on a polyester garment, so it is what it is. I was a big fan of the Stores Hotronic range, which is why we got the hat press, we've got the older hat press, we've got the clamshell heat press, and over here we also have the Fusion IQ. Now, my experience with the Stores equipment hasn't been the best. This one keeps tripping, we're waiting to send this one back, and the hat press needs to be debugged, so we've had to take out the panel. We're sending that back to Hotronics. The customer service is great. It just so happens that we've just had some faulty equipment, but all in all, the product is good. We've just had a few hiccups along the way. This is one of our main heat presses. It's just a clamshell heat press. Works really well. And the Fusion IQ was our flagship heat press, but yeah, it's just not functional at the minute. Anyway, that's enough rambling for one video, so I will catch you in the next one in a bit.